Tonight on CTV News at 6, former daycare workers charged. 2 women accused of assaulting children.
These charges stem from incidents against 3 separate victims, ranging from the ages of 1 to 3.
Demanding a faster fix after vandalism knocks out cell service to a rural area for months.
A lot of people out here depend on their cell phones. TELUS is getting paid for those cell phones.
And from Edmonton into orbit.
Definitely super grateful for the opportunity to be involved in a real space mission.
A U of A team sends its studies to space.
It's been a beautiful, warm afternoon, but another chance of some showers and thunderstorms tonight and again late tomorrow.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. RCMP have laid charges in connection with assault allegations at a local daycare. Back in March, we heard from a mother who said her son had been assaulted at Little Stars Daycare in Spruce Grove. She says she was alerted by the daycare's management and shown video footage. RCMP say they've identified 3 victims between 1 and 3 years old. They've also laid a total of 6 charges against 2 people. 32-year-old Dimpy Bawa is facing 2 counts of assault with a weapon and 2 counts of assault. 29-year-old Shivani is facing 2 counts of assault. RCMP say investigators combed through about 200 surveillance videos.
When conducting this type of investigation, you always have to look at Section 43 of the Criminal Code, which is kind of nicknamed the spanking bylaw. So it protects parents and any kind of caregiver from using force to a certain extent. And it's our allegation here after conducting this investigation that what we witnessed is beyond what 43 covers as far as disciplinary action.
Police say the accused were released from the daycare when the investigation began. They say the daycare has been cooperating with the investigation. A 9-year-old girl is dead after being hit by a truck in Spruce Grove. RCMP say the collision happened just before 9 this morning on Hartwick Manor. Officers believe the girl was sitting on a skateboard that was rolling off a driveway when she was hit. She was taken to hospital with critical injuries where she later died. No charges have been laid. Alberta's police watchdog says 4 RCMP officers shot at a man in a secure parking lot at the police detachment in Sherwood Park last week. The Alberta Serious Incident Response Team says the officers' shots struck the man several times. RCMP say he showed up in the parking lot with what appeared to be a gun. ACERT shared a photo of a BB gun found at the scene. It will investigate the officer's use of force. ACERT says the man who was shot remains in hospital. It expects he will survive. About 150 people in Thorhild County are dealing with little to no cell service nearly 2 months after a cell tower there was vandalized. Businesses in the area are still paying their phone bills while finding other ways to connect with customers and operate day to day. Jeremy Thompson reports.
So we have the regular Cobra greenhouse tomato.
Wendy Erdman and her husband Ron have been growing veggies for more than 40 years.
I worked for him in 1984. And here I am today, still working, not getting paid.
The Erdmans may be working, but their cell phones are not. About 6 weeks ago, they suddenly lost cell service.
Both noticed our phones went to SOS.
Most times they still have 1 bar, but calls don't go through and texts are delayed. Their home phone is still set up, but Erdman says most calls are considered long distance.
10 cents a minute, you know, phoning these customers back, and where we used to be able to call them on the cell phone and you can phone nationwide.
This is what's been causing all the issues. You should be looking at a 106-meter tall cell tower behind me right now, but it was knocked over on June 14th. Police say the vandals took a bunch of copper wiring from the downed tower. The damage estimated at $800,000. TELUS says the replacement should be up sometime in September. The lack of connectivity has been a struggle at nearby Moosewood Acres, too. Owner Christina Krause is now paying Starlink $150 a month so she has enough internet to accept non-cash payments. She's also still paying TELUS through her mobile contract.
They're still not really willing to work with you or compensate you for it because it wasn't failure of their product.
TELUS says it's adjusting other towers nearby to provide the area with as much coverage as possible. It is not obligated to compensate customers for the outage, but that could change in the future. The CRTC is contemplating adding the scenario to its Consumer Protections Action Plan. In the meantime, people out here are making do.
You can't get a call out. There's a spot in the middle of the field that works.
In Thorhild County, Jeremy Thompson, CTV News.
Space for new housing is a contentious issue in Edmonton. A local group says the solution could already be in the skyline. It plans to undertake a radical reinvention of a downtown building, adding amenities and converting floors of unused office space into housing. CTV's Connor Hogg got a tour of the soon-to-be Standard.
Its new owner is the first to admit 10405 Jasper Avenue isn't the most memorable of Edmonton's skyscrapers.
It's super prominent, but it's never been a building that people have paid a lot of attention to because it's usually accommodated larger office tenants and a collection of medical tenants.
It was built in the 70s when demand for downtown office space was booming. Today, the former Standard Life Center sits half empty. Its new owner says soon that will change.
Food hall, we're looking into pickleball court, basketball court. We've got golf simulators coming. We've got event space. We've got a rooftop patio restaurant that we're standing on right now.
Leader Investments bought the building for $12.5 million. It plans to convert the top half of the tower from empty boardrooms to residential units, with young professionals and students as the target demographics. About half of the building will remain office space.
Creating more housing opportunities with all the different sizes and scales is important for the downtown ecosystem. And this building, based on its location, is like right in the heart of all the social part of downtown.
These are great opportunities to add that vibrancy, to make use of vacant space, and just add more life to the downtown.
Ward O'Dayman councillor Ann Stevenson says private projects like these are good for everyone because they increase density downtown with fewer startup costs.
The great thing about office conversions, for example, is we don't have any new roads to plow. We don't have any new transit service we need to provide. We don't have any new parks that we need to build. They're already all here.
The city offers several grants to support conversion projects like this. Those are still in the works. What is ironed out now is the name, the Standard.
We truly hope that we can add something that people look to as like a part of the solution and bringing more people back to downtown.
Leader is hoping to have permits by next year. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Malls will soon be buzzing with back-to-school shoppers. While the start of a new school year can be expensive, 2 new initiatives are underway to make sure every kid is fully equipped. Naramanisa reports.
We are hoping to pack this backpack with new or unused school supplies in support of students this fall.
At Kingsway Mall, the Edmonton Public Schools Foundation is asking shoppers to pack the pack.
When students can, start the year feeling prepared, they'll be a lot more confident in their learning, more excited for school.
The backpack features an opening where shoppers can drop off new or unopened school supplies. Some of the most in-demand items include
but things like duotangs, notebooks, highlighters, pencil crayons.
The supplies will be handed out to schools and given to students as needed.
We do hear from our school principals and teachers that this is a significant need.
The drive for school supplies is also happening at West Edmonton Mall. It's hoping to collect 1,000 items to fill this Volkswagen van. The supplies will be given to the Bent Arrow Traditional Healing Society.
Their Family Resource Network has been serving Indigenous children and families for over 30 years. So we're really proud to be able to highlight that community resource.
According to shopping lists for some Edmonton public schools, kids in elementary and junior high could be spending between $50 to $100 for a basic supply list.
So the need just kind of keeps increasing, and our goal here is just to be able to respond positively to students who do need that extra support in school supplies and say, don't worry, we've got you.
You can find the backpack at Kingsway Mall on the main level near the southwest entrance. The West Edmonton Mall van is located near Bourbon Street. Naramanisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Hundreds of kids are swarming downtown Edmonton for a weekly day camp hosted by the YMCA and the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation. Kids are getting the chance to play hockey, basketball, yard games, and other activities at Fan Park and Ice District. The camps will be held every Tuesday until August 19th, and organizers expect more than 800 kids to attend. Oilers mascot Hunter the Lynx, along with some Oilers alumni, are also expected to drop by. This is the first year the two organizations are hosting these day camps.
We all feel the Oilers fever here in town. Our kiddos are such big fans of the team. They love Hunter. You know, during the playoffs, our campers, when they're in our programs or through our child care spaces, you know, they celebrate, they dress up. This is just such a great synergy, and we were hearing all week how excited they were about coming down, so this is really great.
The YMCA is running a campaign to send 500 kids in need to camp this summer. Heritage Fest will return to Horilac Park next year. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports, wet weather didn't dampen the fun for its final year at Borden Park.
You don't have to go far to experience the sights, sounds, and tastes of the globe.
It's like a travel in one day around the world.
The Edmonton Heritage Festival brought thousands of people for its final year in Borden Park.
It's been a great 3 years in this temporary space, but we're looking forward to returning to Horilac in 26.
Every country's pavilion had something unique and delicious to offer. And with more than 60 pavilions, it's an opportunity to immerse yourself into the melting pot of Edmonton.
We really want to create an environment where our pavilions can engage with our attendees and educate.
Really enriching for the kids, and there's lots to do. We could be here all day.
A chance to taste something new.
I actually never tried Jamaican food, but I definitely want to give it a try.
For the Togo Pavilion, they bring their pride in preparing their food.
We have the best spices. We make sure we have everything ready that will make everything taste the best. That's what we do. That's Togolese way.
Their efforts earned them first place for the best main in the food category for their fried plantains and beef skewer. Recognition they don't take lightly.
And we have to make our country proud of us.
Pride is what makes everyone feel welcome at Heritage Fest.
We are very lucky to have so many cultures in Canada, and I want them to be exposed to different cultures, to try the foods, to see the dancing.
Beyond the tastes and sounds, it's a joyous feeling of what it means to represent your country.
We've been here for so long in Canada, and having this, it's almost like having a little piece of your country here.
Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Well, Josh, we always seem to have those stories before you and I can go have dinner.
Yeah, which is fun. Which gives you some dinner ideas. Scattered showers and thunderstorms over the course of the long weekend to go along with some heat. It was 30 on Saturday, 25 Sunday, and yesterday. Today it was even hotter. Got up to 28 for a daytime high. No thunderstorms in the area just yet. There is a chance late tonight you might see something. I think the early evening hours should be okay. We're at 24 downtown right now. Still some 26s off to the west and south of the city, but Elk Island has bounced back to 19. It was 17 an hour ago as they've had some heavy rain in the area. 13 degrees this morning. 28 this afternoon puts us 4 degrees warmer than average. There's a look at those thunderstorms off to the east and northeast. Now, a lot of the action north of Highway 16 has weakened significantly. There are still some severe thunderstorms, though, south of Highway 16. We'll show you the warnings in a moment. First, this is what it looks like out there, looking off at some of those distant clouds. CTV drone flying high over the city of Edmonton right now. Outskirts of the city. I think that's near the Quarry Golf Course, I believe. Is that the walking bridge? Nice shot there from Sean McClune. All right. Severe thunderstorm watches for the areas in yellow, the red zones under warnings where you do have severe thunderstorms, although it's not all of that red area. Sherwood Park, technically you are included. You're not going to see a severe thunderstorm. It's that one there just off to the west of Toefield. There's another severe storm right around Vegreville, and then there was a severe storm around Two Hills, a little further off to the northeast there, but it looks like that one is starting to weaken slightly. We potentially have a little bit of development over the northeast corner of the city that should last the next half hour to an hour. The best chance is going to be for some showers and thunderstorms to come in from the west, and that won't happen until late tonight if it happens at all. Again, tomorrow, 25, maybe 26 degrees, and the risk for showers and thunderstorms doesn't come until the evening hours. Closer look at that and the rest of your forecast in a couple minutes.
Thanks, Josh. Stay with us. Coming up, more measles cases in Edmonton and across Canada.
There's still quite a few new cases being reported on a weekly basis.
Canada is coming close to losing its measles elimination status due to the spread. Also next.
We do know that we cannot handle that volume of vehicles into the long term.
The impact of the Canada Strong Pass on Alberta parks.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Alberta Health is reporting 35 new cases of measles since Friday, with 4 of them in the Edmonton zone. That brings the total number of measles cases in Edmonton since the start of the outbreak to 23. Province-wide, there's a total of 1,691 cases, the majority of those cases in the South Zone. Ottawa says if the current chain of transmission continues beyond October, Canada could lose its elimination status. CTV's Pauline Chan explains.
Canada was declared to have eliminated measles in 1998.
So measles elimination is defined by the World Health Organization, and it means that within a certain geographical area, in this case Canada, that there is no sustained transmission of measles over a 12-month period.
Jana Shapiro from the University of Toronto says it doesn't mean there were 0 cases, just no sustained transmission.
And now that we've seen a resurgence in the past year or so in Canada, we are at risk of losing that elimination status in 2025.
10 of our 13 provinces and territories have seen cases. Alberta has over 1,600 cases of measles, and Ontario has seen more than 2,300.
We really had our bulk of our cases in kind of March, April, but that's not yet the case in Alberta. I think there's still quite a few new cases being reported on a weekly basis.
Many of the cases sprang from a single event in New Brunswick last October, which led to transmission in other provinces.
I have a lot of concerns, very deep concerns, professionally, foremost, and also personally. Professionally, because measles is truly the most contagious virus that you can come in contact with.
Michelle Canor was diagnosed with measles in May and was hospitalized for several days despite getting a vaccination decades ago. And as a teacher, she worries about measles spread.
Average 32 kids in a classroom in city schools. It would be a really dangerous thing to have classrooms of children taken out by the measles. And most will manage it. Most will be able to be resilient and overcome it, but some may not.
Shapiro says Canada could lose its measles eliminated status as early as October and says public health vaccination efforts must continue. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Canvassers are going door to door to ask for signatures on a petition looking to make sure Alberta stays in Canada.
You know, Albertans are proud Canadians. Albertans consider themselves Canadians first, and for a variety of reasons.
The group known as Forever Canadian gathered in Old Strathcona Saturday to start collecting signatures. The petition calls for a referendum on the question, do you agree that Alberta should remain in Canada? The province's chief electoral officer issued the petition last week. The group must now collect nearly 294,000 signatures before it can be filed with Elections Alberta.
This is not about politics. You know, we may differ on policies and we can squabble over things, but when it comes to being proud of being Canadian, we're all on the same team and we're all working together.
Canvassers have until October 28th to collect the required signatures. Crews are cleaning up a portion of Highway 40 south of Kananaskis Village after a mudslide. Happened Saturday afternoon between the Mount Lipset and Mist Creek day use areas. Crews say rocks and trees piled up as high as 2 meters and covered 60 meters of the highway. The RCMP say the highway will be affected for about 2 days. The latest information from 511 Alberta shows the road is still closed. The Canada Strong Pass, allowing free entry into national parks, is bringing joy to many Canadians while also creating challenges for park employees. Over the long weekend, Waterton National Park had to divert traffic, while Banff's mayor says the volume of vehicles is not sustainable. Tyler Barrow has more.
Two things not hard to find in Banff in the summer: stunning peaks, swarms of people. Irina Kachun and Ior Mazurek recently moved to Toronto from Ukraine. They're taking advantage of the Canada Strong Pass that provides free access into national parks.
It's very cool that Parks Pass is free, so we decided to use it.
These two Calgarians are also partly here because of the free entry.
It's not much of a trek to come all the way out, and then now that you don't have to pay for it.
The pass was an election pitch by Prime Minister Mark Carney. It was a strategy to unite Canadians by encouraging domestic travel. The pass came into effect June 20th, and in Banff, it hasn't been seamless. Year to date, the town's traffic volume is up 6%. Recently, it recorded its second busiest day ever.
Cannot handle that volume of vehicles into the long term, so we need to continue to work with our provincial and federal partners to look at mass transit.
The town also points to Calgary and area's booming population, strong U.S. dollar, and the sentiment of Canadians wanting to vacation at home for the increase in traffic volume. Residents share the mayor's concern.
Getting out of town by car, like sometimes it's taken me like 20-30 minutes to get out of town.
It's too much. The reality, there's too much tourism that has to be monitored.
And over the long weekend, Waterton had to divert traffic away.
We want to be sure that we don't reach gridlock for safety reasons like in any other jurisdiction.
While parks try to handle the volume of vehicles, businesses are noticing the increase in volume.
The amount of local Canadian traffic has spiked very noticeably, especially day traffic.
The crowds will likely continue as the Canada Strong Pass will be good until September 2nd, the Tuesday after the Labor Day weekend. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Banff.
Ground has broken at the new site for the popular Banff sign. The sign has been welcoming people into the community on Mount Norquay Road since 2017. It became so popular with people wanting photographs that led to traffic congestion and worries about pedestrian safety. The sign is being moved to a green space near the Banff train station. It should open in October. After the break, a chance to make your mark in orbit.
A chip will be affixed like that, and we'll send it to space so your name gets to come with us.
We'll explain how you can be part of a space mission led by University of Alberta students.
Just in the last 15-20 minutes, we've had a little shower cell pop up over parts of the city and could see some more before the night's done. Warm and potentially some late-day storms again tomorrow. Those details right after the break.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Brought to you by Basement Systems Edmonton. Contact us today for all things basement-y.
Edmonton into orbit. A team at the University of Alberta is sending its studies to space. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti explains, a part of you can go along for the ride.
Your name could be aboard a Falcon 9 rocket. Students at the University of Alberta are creating a satellite that will hitch a ride to space.
We go on a rideshare program, so there's probably 60 or 50 other satellites about this size that are also paying to be on the rocket.
They're building the Alta 3.
It'll house a student-built imager that we developed for climate change research.
Alta 3 will orbit Earth and monitor ice and snow coverage in Canada and contribute to wildfire research.
The Canadian government especially is looking into more ways to support climate change research. We know that wildfires are a hot-button issue for a lot of Albertan communities.
The Alta 3 project will cost $500,000. Part of the crowdfunding campaign includes inviting donors to be a part of the mission through this small chip.
A chip will be affixed like that, and we'll send it to space so your name gets to come with us.
You can pay $100 for one name or $200 for 3. While the satellite is only the size of a loaf of bread, it packs a punch.
But it contains everything. So you have your computer in here, your power. The only thing not pictured on here is some of the surface components.
The students will have their names hidden within the circuits and other components, but it's building Alt-3 that makes them excited to launch their careers.
Sending actual hardware that I've designed into space was always a long-term goal for far in the future when I was in my late 20s or 30s or even older.
This is the first opportunity I've ever had to actually participate in a real space mission.
Alta 3 will blast off next summer. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, Josh, I think a lot of people are starting to get used to these hit-and-miss showers all over the place the last few days.
Used to or annoyed by, depending on how many times
keeps things interesting.
Your events were rained out over the course of the long weekend. There's what it looks like outside right now with the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right or it's free. 28 for a daytime high today, 24 the current temperature. You can round that up. It was actually 28.1. Sometimes our automated maps are slow to update. 29 in Fort McMurray, 26 in Grand Prairie for a daytime high. Still some severe thunderstorm warnings for areas off to the east. You can see we've lost one of these warnings. Watches in place for all the areas in yellow for potentially some severe thunderstorms. If you zoom in, this is the worst of it right now, just south of Vegreville, and that's kind of been hanging in that area for a while. So if you're right underneath that or very close to it, could even be some localized flooding just because of how heavily the rain is falling, potentially pea to dime-sized hail as well. And then this one here near Two Hills kind of pushed north very slowly. It has showed some signs of weakening in the last little bit. Still one little pretty intense core. And these ones here near Toefield, probably no light or hail associated with them anymore, but still some pockets of heavier rain. Now, we mentioned earlier one little shower cell that has popped up. There it is. You can see the little blip of yellow. That's now going to exit out the northeast corner of the city. On the back edge of these thunderstorms, you had an outflow boundary, this wind that pushed back to the west, and so that helped to generate that little shower cell. There's also another outflow boundary, some wind coming from this direction out ahead of those thunderstorms, and off to the west-southwest of the city. Somewhere in this area here, those two are going to collide, and that may be enough to produce some lift. So I know it looks like things are dying out on the northern edge or on the eastern edge of this right now, but you may see some rapid development here just off to the southwest of the city. If that happens, you're looking at a mid 9-10 p.m. Risk of a shower or thunderstorm in the Edmonton area. If it doesn't generate anything, then those scattered showers and thunderstorms off to the west, they won't get here until about 11 p.m. midnight, if they get here at all. Again, it's going to be pretty scattered and hit and miss in nature. East and northeast of Edmonton, mid-morning, you might see the development of some more showers and thunderstorms for the same areas that got hit this afternoon. For us here in Edmonton, partly cloudy for most of the day, and then again, late tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Wednesday. Good chance of some showers and thunderstorms. This might actually be the best chance for some rain as opposed to tonight. Thunderstorms potentially turning over to some showers or periods of rain through the overnight period and into early Thursday. By Thursday afternoon, that all lifts north of us. And then I know you're probably seeing on your weather apps that it's going to rain all day Friday. There is very low confidence in the precipitation forecast for Friday. Come back in the next day or two. We'll have a little better handle on that. 18 degrees at midnight, dropping to 15 by tomorrow morning. 25 or 26 for a high tomorrow. Slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm around supper time. Best chance is going to be late tomorrow night into early Thursday morning. Then a break, and then for now we'll go with a 40% chance of some scattered showers or potentially some rain for Friday.
Thank you, Josh. Coming up, supports for Canadian industry with a Canada-U.S. trade deal in limbo.
We cannot count or fully rely on what has been our most valued trading relationship for our prosperity.
Canadian ministers now looking to other countries for tips on how to deal with Trump's tactics. Also next.
It should have never happened. It shouldn't have been allowed to happen.
Details on the U.S. Coast Guard's report into the deadly Titan submersible implosion.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
With a trade deal with the United States in limbo, Prime Minister Mark Carney unveiled new measures today to help the softwood lumber sector. CTV's Rachel Aiello has the details of Mark Carney's message for the industry.
Unveiling new measures to snap the Canadian softwood sector's U.S. market dependence. Today, Prime Minister Mark Carney promised new loan guarantees and grants to help keep lumber companies afloat, accelerate product development, diversify markets, and fund retraining efforts.
We cannot count or fully rely on what has been our most valued trading relationship for our prosperity.
The move comes after the U.S. raised duties last month, prompting calls to make resolving the dispute a priority in the broader trade talks. Talks that Carney said today are continuing, despite U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff escalation last week.
I haven't spoken to the president in recent days. We'll speak when it makes sense.
Mark Carney has to deliver.
While polls show Canadians appear willing to give Carney more time, pressure is increasing as they watch Trump make deals with other countries.
Canadians are increasingly worried about Trump and the state of the trade negotiations. Concern on that front has been increasing over the last number of weeks.
Today, as both countries work towards a new North American trade pact, two of Carney's top ministers are in Mexico, talking to officials about how they secured a 90-day pause on higher tariffs.
Perhaps we can also learn something from their approach. They took a much more measured and perhaps low-key approach, and it seemed to work for them.
All of this coming the same day that new federal data shows Canada's merchandise trade deficit has widened to the second highest on record since April's historic dip. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
A congressional committee has issued subpoenas for several high-profile officials as it investigates the Jeffrey Epstein case. Subpoenas for Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and former Justice Department officials request depositions before the GOP-controlled committee. Another subpoena asks the Justice Department to hand over all of the Epstein files by August 19th. A cover letter sent to former President Clinton calls for him to be deposed in October about his relationship with Epstein. Clinton's spokesperson has previously issued a statement saying he knew nothing about Epstein's crimes but had flown on Epstein's plane several times. Wildfires are burning across much of Canada, forcing people from their homes and spreading smoke countrywide. In BC, more than 130 wildfires are burning across the province. A fire on Vancouver Island has forced hundreds of people from their homes. More than 200 wildland and structural firefighters are now working round the clock to try and control it. A First Nation west of Thompson, Manitoba is evacuating thousands of people because of a wildfire there. Manitoba has been hit hard by wildfire this summer, leaving many communities on edge. Officials say some progress is being made.
Our Fire 61 is basically being held. It has still had some spots on the north of it that have jumped going that way, but not toward town. We have a lot of crews working on it, and on this side of the river where it breached the river there a couple weeks ago. But like I said, we have enough crews that everything's being held.
Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Centre says as of today, almost 750 wildfires are burning across Canada. The owner of a cargo ship that crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore is suing the company that built the vessel. The lawsuit alleges there was negligence in the design of a switchboard on the ship. It claims it was designed defectively with non-secured wiring connections. The ship was leaving Baltimore for Sri Lanka in March of last year when it crashed into one of the bridge's supporting columns, killing 6 crew members. The U.S. Coast Guard says the deadly implosion of the Titan submersible in 2023 was preventable. A new report found major problems with the company behind the vessel and its CEO. CTV's John Venevali-Rao has the details.
What happened to the Titan submersible and the loss of everyone on board, including a teenager, was examined extensively by the U.S. Coast Guard. And with the release of a more than 300-page report, an investigative board finding what many have long believed, that this marine casualty and the loss of 5 lives was preventable.
I'm mad because it happened, and I'm sad that all these people lost their lives. And that's why, to me, it should have never happened. It shouldn't have been allowed to happen.
The report placing blame on OceanGate, the American company behind the experimental sub, run by CEO Stockton Rush, who perished in the implosion. It cites inadequate design, certification, maintenance, and inspection processes for the Titan, adding there was a toxic workplace culture. Some who expressed safety concerns were fired or threatened with dismissal.
To start operations, was there pressure?
Oh, 100%.
The report finding the submersible was used despite several prior incidents involving its carbon fiber hull, adding OceanGate was able to operate Titan completely outside the established deep-sea protocols. The Titan had been on a dive off Newfoundland carrying passengers who paid up to $250,000 to see the wreck of the Titanic when the submersible imploded.
The good news is they would have been killed instantly, so they wouldn't have suffered, but they shouldn't have been killed in the first place. This was preventable.
In a statement, OceanGate, which is no longer operating, said, "We again offer our deepest condolences to the families of those who died and to all those impacted by the tragedy." The report also notes if CEO Stockton Rush had survived, criminal charges against him would have been considered. John Venavelli-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
Stay with us. Coming up, filling in the holes of Alberta history.
I don't know how many Gopher museums there are in the world, but certainly there aren't a lot.
Look at one of our province's most creative museums as it grows in popularity.
This is iconic Alberta. You definitely want to come here.
And there is a live look from the CTV drone at the new Edmonton-Strathcona County footbridge. You can now walk or ride a bicycle or even a skateboard from Edmonton all the way to Sherwood Park if you feel so inclined. Stay with us. Checking on the markets, the Canadian dollar sitting around 72 cents U.S. Oil is down around $65 U.S. a barrel. Gold saw a $15 bump. On the stock market, the TSX gained 426 points. The Dow Jones down 142. The union representing Air Canada flight attendants says its members have voted in favor of strike action. The Canadian Union of Public Employees says more than 99% of its 10,000 members voted in favor of the strike. It comes after contract talks between the airline and union ended without a deal. The union says it could issue a strike notice as early as August the 16th. Bargaining is expected to resume at the end of the week. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has issued a recall notice for Dubai brand pistachio and Kanefa milk chocolate. There are concerns about possible salmonella contamination. The chocolate is distributed in Quebec and sold online. The federal agency discovered the potential contamination during a food safety investigation. No illnesses have been reported. If you venture off the QE2 and go for a drive through central Alberta, you may come across a hole-in-the-wall attraction. It's been drawing thousands of people to a tiny hamlet every year for nearly 30 years. Matt Woodman has more on the museum using taxidermy to tell the tale of Torrington.
We've been for 3 years talking about this place.
If you end up in the hamlet of Torrington, Tom and Karen have a recommendation for you.
It's a very unique thing. I mean, I don't know how many Gopher museums there are in the world, but certainly there aren't a lot.
Just the craftsmanship of the whole thing, it was amazing.
The Gopher Hole Museum features 44 displays with more than 80 ground squirrels, each one dressed up and decked out as a tribute to Torrington's story.
It is indeed a museum. It does tell the history of this community. We just do it in a very different way. Specifically in the prairie provinces, there's all these little towns that used to be something that are suddenly nothing. And that's just part of society today. It's really important to represent what used to be here.
Laurel Curtis says her parents and the community opened the museum 29 years ago.
I swore I'd never have anything to do with this museum.
That was 5 years ago. She's been the museum's director ever since and says 15,000 people visit between May and October every year.
This has been on my list of things to do in the Alberta prairies. This is iconic Alberta. You definitely want to come here.
Curtis says they receive most of their subjects from farmers who are protecting their crops. While some people may find it cruel, Visitors love it.
It's so
It's
cute.
amazing. The artwork is wonderful.
Everyone has their favorite.
The RCMP gopher was probably my favorite.
I loved the hockey and curling scene. I think that was my favorite.
Everybody's favorite gopher is this silly little angel that's hanging from the top of the church. Everybody loves him. The fishing one is very popular, and the Serenity Park. So that was a park that actually existed in this town.
Using taxidermy to tell the tale of the little hamlet that was. Matt Woodman, CTV News, Torrington, Alberta.
Meanwhile, the Gopher Hole Museum needs to find a new home due to unwanted pests. The museum says it's been dealing with a maple bug and wasp problem, which is threatening the integrity of the displays in the buildings. The museum's hunt for a new location has been unsuccessful so far. As the hunt continues, the museum will stay open to visitors. A dash of Latin flavor will be added to the 2026 Juno Awards. The award show is introducing a new category of Latin Music Recording of the Year. Last year, an Edmonton artist started a petition to have a Hispanic category added to the Juno Awards. He says the representation will help keep Latino artists in Canada.
I had no words. I was so happy. Shed a happy tear. I think it's really good for the Latino artists here in Canada. They're going to be more comfortable knowing that we have a national stage that we can express ourselves, our culture, our music.
Submissions for the 2026 show open September the 22nd. Coming up, a voyage begins with a celebration of sport and culture.
I think it just helps us grow more as a team together, getting to learn our culture together.
An all-Indigenous hockey team taking its talents from Alberta to an international audience.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk.
A AAA hockey team entirely made up of Indigenous athletes is overseas for elite hockey competition. Before they left, the team had a special send-off recognizing their nations and families who worked hard to make the trip possible. Connor Hogg was there.
I get to play in Germany. That's a dream come true.
A send-off ceremony unlike many that are held for AAA teams of this caliber. And that's by design. The teammates of the First Nations Voyagers come from all over Canada to play together, breaking barriers on the world stage.
Elite hockey is crazy expensive, and these guys wanted to ensure that our boys get this exposure.
Julianne Yellowbird is the team's self-described momager.
I'm going to wait for you guys at the airport.
Yellowbird says financial barriers have historically prevented Indigenous players from pursuing hockey. Their nations and sponsors, with the help of fundraisers, are paying this team's way, with players from across the country competing for a spot on the Voyagers lineup.
Voyagers on me, Voyagers on 3. 1, 2, 3, Voyagers! Combine that athleticism, but not to forget and put in the forefront that identity piece.
Players say the team is about more to them than just hockey.
I didn't really know much about my culture before, but being on this team got me to many powwows, taught me how to drum, sing, and yeah, just a lot of new things.
I just knew we were going to be buds right away, like friends for sure.
Cultural teachings intersecting with elite training.
I think it just helps us grow more as a team together, getting to learn our culture together.
It feels like we're a family and more connected to each other because we know the background that we have come from.
Yellowbird says there is already talk about creating a U18 group next year, as well as an all-girls team, so more young athletes can have the same experience.
It just seems like they found a sense of identity with each other I've never seen a group of boys click so well.
There's a lot of nervousness, but I'm also really excited because I get that exposure and I get to see the world.
The Voyagers are on their way. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Couple tiny little shower cells just off the southeast corner of the city, but most of the city is going to stay dry here for the next few hours. We'll wait and see what happens with those showers and thunderstorms way off to the west-southwest. There is a chance for some hit and miss precipitation in the area late tonight. Partly cloudy for most of the day tomorrow. We'll get to about 25 or 26 for a daytime high, and then late tomorrow night, a chance of some showers or thunderstorms, and that'll likely change over to some rain or scattered showers for Thursday morning, then some clearing through the afternoon on Thursday. Friday, as we said, pretty low confidence in how much rain, whether it's just hit and miss showers or steadier rain. So come back in the next couple of days. It does look drier and warmer, though, through the weekend and into next week. Temperatures should be in the mid-20s.
Sounds great. Thanks, Josh, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit ctvnewsedmonton.ca or the CTV channel on YouTube.